No Man's Sky review. What's it really worth? No Man's Sky is an action-adventure survival video game developed and published by Hello Games. And today, I'm going to be doing a full review of the game and give you my thoughts, what was good, what was bad, what I think this game is really worth. No Man's Sky was released on August 9th for the PS4 and on August 12th for Windows. Players take the role of a planetary explorer in an uncharted universe and set out to explore different planets and find the secret that's in the center of the universe. Now let's break this game down and see what it's all about. Graphics. So I played this on the PS4 and it's not too bad, but it could look better. Because it's procedurally generated, it has its flaws. When you enter a planet or hit a save point, the frame rate drops and the game freezes for a split second. Now that's not a big deal, but it's still there. When you're walking around, the game works pretty well and looks great. On PC, I'm sure it would look even better. But when you're flying around the planet, that's a little different. What I hate is even when flying at the lowest speed possible, you can see the world loading up the terrain, which takes away from the experience. I understand the procedurally generated mechanic, but I feel it would be better if the game would form all that in a further distance so you can't see it. I hate flying around and seeing what looks like a green screen, then objects and terrain pop in. Now when you're flying around in space, the game works fine, because there's not much to show besides space, asteroids, planets, and then random spaceports. Music. I really enjoy it. The game has like an 80s synth electro vibe to it, which I love. When there is no actual music playing though, you have the sounds of the environment, with like the wind, the creatures making noises, the flying sentinel machines, and they suit the game and they did a pretty good job with the music and sound effects. For me, it's definitely one of my favorite parts about the game. Story. You take the role of a planetary explorer in an uncharted universe. You start on a random planet at the edge of the universe and you are equipped with a survival spacesuit with a jetpack, a multi-tool that can be used to scan, mine, and collect resources, as well as to attack or defend oneself from creatures and other entities while on a planet, and a crashed spacecraft that once repaired allows you to land and take off from planets and travel between them and engage in combat with other space vessels. After performing enough resource collection to repair your spacecraft and leave the planet, you are then free to engage in any of the 4 principal activities offered by the game: exploration, survival, combat, and trading. You can explore different planets and is able to view a galactic map to plot courses between systems, which is updated by other players. The player can attempt communicating with an NPC from factions using a dialogue tree interface, but this requires them to learn the alien's language. By constantly communicating with the factions, as well as finding monoliths scattered around the planet that act as Rosetta Stones, the player can better understand these languages and can gain favor from the NPC and its faction for trading and combat. There are also various space bases where the player can engage in trading of resources and goods in a free market system, with one such base existing in every planetary system, so the player always have the ability to buy fuel to make hyperspace jumps to other systems. Content. So the only thing you get with this game is the campaign, but because it's so big, you don't really need much else. Even though it's not really much of a campaign either than just an exploration. Now, there's over 18 quintillion planets and just as many animals to explore and discover. Gameplay. I have a love-hate feeling for the gameplay, and I think a lot of people do too. I feel it could have been better, but I still enjoy what I got. So first off, I feel like you can either really like this game or hate it. Personally, I enjoy it very much, but I was expecting a little more. Because you're on a planet and you walk around collecting resources for your ship, uncovering new animals, discovering monoliths to learn new languages so you can talk to aliens and waypoints. Now that's it. Every planet you go to, you're doing the same thing over and over again. The only thing that changes are the planets and animals and some of the resources. That's why I can see how some people will get bored of this game fast and not enjoy it as much. Regardless of how each planet looks, if you're just doing the same thing all the time, it's gonna get boring. For me though, I don't have any issues with it. Once you figure out how everything works, the game is really relaxing and just chill to play. I like just wandering around, looking for new animals and seeing how the planets look. For example, I started the game off on a very dry and desert planet with some floral life to it. Spent a good 5 hours on it figuring things out and trying to find all the animals. Once I was done, I went to a new planet that was dark and had no life on it whatsoever. Even though I didn't spend another 5 hours on that planet because there wasn't as much to explore, it was still cool to see how the planet worked. Going to a different planet and just walking around enjoying what it looks like and the life on it is relaxing to me, and since the game is so big and has no end to it, I can pick it up anytime and just keep doing that over and over again. The only time I would ever stop is if I wanted it to, and I like the thought of that. That's not saying though, I do wish there was more to do in the planets besides just finding monoliths, waypoints, and shelters. Who knows, this game is new and Hello Games said there'd be no DLC but a lot of free patches. I can't wait to see where this game will go and hopefully grow to be even better than what the developer envisioned. Alright, so now let's get down to the final verdict on what I think this game is really worth. So, in the US and Canada for the PS4, it's $60 in the US and $80 in Canada. So for everything you get, graphics could be better, great soundtrack, huge universe to explore, an infinite campaign, no real multiplayer, no real story, repetitive, boring. For No Man's Sky, it was hard to decide what it's really worth, just because of the fact that, like I said earlier, this game is a love-hate. I feel like you can either really like it if you enjoy the open world sandbox aspect of games, or if you don't. Now personally, I did like it, and I'm in Canada, so I paid the $80. And I enjoy it, I like it, I can justify paying that, I have no problem with it. Considering, like I said, the campaign is infinite, it just doesn't end. You could keep going as long as you want, kind of like Minecraft almost. But if you don't like those kind of games, then that price tag might be too much. It was very difficult to say. I would almost recommend, if you're not sure about buying it, then maybe go rent it. And then you can decide what you really think the game, if you really enjoy it and if you really want to pick it up. Now from an unbiased standpoint though, if I didn't enjoy it as much as I did, I would say that this game should almost be worth about $40 to $50. I think that's a reasonable price. Even, like I said, you get a long campaign, but it is repetitive. It's very repetitive, doing the same thing over and over again. But that is really up to you, whether you enjoy these kind of games or not. Alright guys, well, I'm going to end my review there of No Man's Sky, and I hope you enjoyed. Now, I do this every Thursday where I do a review of my game of the week. I play a new game every week. And I do gameplay that goes with this review. And I'll put a card up top, so go check that out. And those come out on Mondays. Make sure to come back on Mondays to the gameplay. And that way, you know what I'm doing the review on for Thursdays. If you're new to my channel, I'll put my logo on the screen, so you click on that and you see what I'm all about. Check out all my reviews and gameplays, all the rest of my stuff. And if you like my video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my review in a No Man's Sky and what your thoughts are of it and all that good stuff. You know what you gotta do, and you know how to do it. Peace out, guys. Cha! MX vs. ATV Supercross is a racing style video game developed by Rainbow Studios and published by Nordic Games. And today I'm going to be doing a full review of the game and give you my thoughts on what